Okay, I'm Jim Martin, and I heard the word green a lot yesterday, and that's good. You know, that's a good thing. About 10 years ago, I built my home, and I built it out of steel. That's green. Put in a geothermal air conditioning, put a loop through my water heaters. That's green. Lloyd and I arrived yesterday, 1,025 miles in a Prius. That's green. That's green. Yeah. So, all right. We got problems here. Okay. All right. A little bit about how we got in. Lloyd and I both retired from our respective industries. I had a water heater go out in my garage. Well, made a mess, even though it was in my garage. You know, so I thought, wait a minute. You know, I got one in the house and I got hardwood floors. Am I just going to sit here and wait on that? And that's what a lot of people are doing right today. So, it got to be a way to shut that off. I didn't want, you know, there's an electric solenoid out there, and I didn't want to cut in and put that solenoid in. So, anyway, I didn't like, and I'm not knocking the other products, but it didn't fit me. Let's put it that way. So we need a system here that easy to install. You can reset it, and it's not real expensive. So nearly 3 years later, we got it. So that's where we are. How do you install it? Very simple. On this ball valve right here, all you do is slide that handle through here, put it on the position like this, plumb it, these clamps right here, tighten them up firmly, and the top unit's installed. I mean, that's pretty simple. Now then, on the bottom unit, you take this bottom unit, pull this stripping off right here, it's Velcro. Just go to the floor, slide it into the pan, it's installed. That's pretty simple. Okay, so that's where we are. They're not hard to put in. Now then, once you get them in, you do have to, it's kind of a timing feature. It is necessary, there's a notch right here. And this thing's loaded, that sets in that notch, and that's what, and then when you trip it, you pull this, and we're fixing to load that in just a minute. Okay, so that's what's involved on the installation part. Just really not much to it. Now then, I mentioned go to the floor with that a while ago. Most folks have pans. Now, in particular, if it's a new situation, we know they got a pan. So it works great in a pan. All right, now then, how about if it doesn't have a pan? Let me tell you, there's a lot of old homes out there that don't have pans. And there's some homes in the attic. Everybody ought to have it. You got an attic, a second floor installation, you're talking thousands of dollars if you get a water leak up there. Everyone's gets some false security from these pans and drains. They don't always do what they're supposed to do. Okay, but they need to be installed. I'm not saying that. Okay, let's go to the floor, slide it up against the heater. Next thing you do is do that little timing feature, and this is in our instructions, it's very clear. Just set that in that notch, there's nothing to it. Come up, you don't even have to tie a knot. About 3 wraps right there. We got enough wire here. People put valves on the wall, everything else, so we got enough wire to go out and find that valve. So it's time. Now it's time to load the unit. Now then, we intentionally designed these extra strong. We had a spring that closed this valve. Well, that ought to do it. Wrong. We basically doubled everything for safety because valves can stick. We have to, since it is so strong, a man could close this, but we put a little cheater valve in there just to kind of make it a little simpler, or a cheater handle. Now then, you just come around, load that, set that down in the notch, and you're home free. That's it. It's loaded. It'll sit there for years. Now then, okay, let's put a little water in our pan and see what happens. And typically, 1/8 of an inch of water, we're looking at 2 to 3 minutes. If you get a bad leak and you pour water in this thing in a hurry, you're looking at a minute. Now, if you don't have a pan and you got a film, it's going to take some time, but you're not experiencing any damage. I mean, you got a little slow leak, you're not really getting hurt with damage at that stage. So, it really helps. And we've had a couple of situations to where a little lady was extremely worried. She had one in her attic. It's very limited income, and really the plumber said all we can do basically is move that unit downstairs. She couldn't afford that. And plumber heard about this, and he said, boy, I need one of those. said this, went out there and put that in, and I'm telling you, the lady really got peace of mind's what she got out of it, because it'll work. Okay, it takes about a minute or so for it to get up into that cartridge. It ought to be getting there in just a minute. In about 30 seconds, it ought to trip. It trips with authority, folks. I mean, it's not bashful. So we're getting close now. It just... Yeah, it's in there for sure now. Closes. It closes. That's it. Oh yeah, it slams it home. It really does. No, we don't, it's just a standard ball valve. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a ball valve.
This thing has some additional features. He's reloading the cartridge right now. That is a switch here. This switch can control a gas supply to a gas water heater. They manufacture a device in North Carolina that's ideally, or that was designed specifically to do that. We can't sell it, but if there is anybody around from a manufacturer that sells gas water heaters, you could, and we would very much like to work with a gas water heater manufacturer, because we can't sell it. Jim and I didn't know that. We brought it out to IAPMO to get it tested, and they said, "Oh, you can't do that." So we had to take this off. But it's there and it's available, but only a gas water heater manufacturer could sell that particular device.
Okay. All I did to reload it was pull the pin, push that up. There's a little metal cap that sits on top of it, and that allows for smooth transition metal to metal. It's loaded and ready to go. We'll set this out of the way, but you can see how easy that is. I don't know if I mentioned or not the instructions, but we send a complete set of constructions, plastic wheel, a couple of push pins, and we recommend that they put this in their water closet, in that closet, so they're not going to remember 8 years from now and something goes wrong. How do you change that thing? So they've got it right there readily available. We have one other way to trip this bottom unit, or to trip this unit. Here it is. There it is. Does the same thing as this, but if you've got a space problem, etc., you can take this unit and do the same thing.
This is a prototype. This one has not been run through the IAPMO testing and listing section yet, or section yet. So this is just a prototype.
I had a quick question on this one here. How does that metal disc engage that?
Well, what happens? I need to go ahead and load that. That's the way it is when it's involved.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, that'd be a reach, wouldn't it? It just jumps down there. Yeah, how's that? It just jumps down there. Okay, now then, here we are. We're loaded, we got it in our notch. You can forget about it. That's basically about a 1/4 inch notch. It's not going to false trip because of the interlock on it. Okay, once again, we get water, and you get about 2 to 3 inches of action there, and that's certainly sufficient to. Now this has about a 3-inch travel, you can see, so it takes a little while to get up there, but once again, it's a couple of minutes.
We have to wick the water up to where the action takes place.
That's just a napkin, right?
No. Yeah. No. I wished I'd seen you 2 years ago. If you'd think that would have worked, that would have saved us a lot of time. Yeah, that's just a napkin.